what? You see, you have spent of your mental power when you were giving yourself to iniquity. He said, flee youthful lust. It wages war against your soul. See, the devil is smart. He knows these things. Hope you know that he was a cherub. He operated in the courts of God. He knows how God works. And so when you look at the world today, almost 80% of every activity in the world today is designed to suggest sin and iniquity. The other day I carried my phone tab. I was writing on my notepad. For God's sake, notepad has nothing to do with internet. But because my data was on, suddenly I clicked notepad to write, and the young lady appeared on the screen opening her leg. I said, every child has a dream, but at the end of the day, when they are 60, 70, 80, you will discover that in a whole generation you can count them. Sometimes a handful make it to the top because it's not a gift. It's open to everybody, but very few are willing to pay the price. When you see a Peterson singing and the whole world is celebrating, it's because of height. He has come to a place where demons can no longer cage his voice. But there are many people who have better voices. Respectfully speaking, he's a very gifted young man. But there are many people who have even better voices that nobody is hearing. Because there are spirits that have incubated, emasculated their voices, so that even when they shout, nobody hears. So when we are talking height, we are talking, number one, drawing from the realm of God, because you have the right to operate there. And number two, we are talking stopping the other spirits that stop men from rising. That's the spiritual dimension to height. Then when you talk about the dimension of height that has to do with men or the physical, you are talking about a place where you get to and you can impact the lives of people. Because if you are not up, you can't lift men. I did an illustration in church and they were laughing. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Hi. Who is a strong man here? Okay, come. You believe you are a strong man, come. Can we look for a smallish person? Let me show you something. I'm talking about physical height. My brother, come. Please come. Let me show you something. With all due respect. But you look big. You needed somebody smaller. That man there, come. That one there with black. Please come. I want to show you something. I'm trying to bring you to terms with the practicality of what I'm teaching. This is smaller. Thank you so much. Don't be offended. Can both of you sit on the ground? Sir, help me lift this man up. Try your best. No, use two hands. Try all your effort. This is height. He doesn't have height, so he can't. Now stand up. Lift. No, to you, sit down. Lift him up. The problem was not about ability. It was about height. So when we talk about height, we are talking about your capacity to impact men. If you are down, no matter how you desire to help widows, you can't. No matter how you desire to help the sick, you can't. No matter how you desire to help the helpless, you can't. So the first is that you must gain height first so that you can pull them up. Are you seeing that? So when we are talking height, we are talking about capacity to impact men. There are men that you meet today, your story will change forever. And it won't cost them much. They can just talk and your life will change. And they can give you from the abundance they have. Your life will still change because they have height. So when we are talking about height, we are talking about authority to influence men. And then secondly, when we are talking about height, we are talking about authority to influence systems. Hope you know that there are people in this country who can speak from Abuja and there will be public holiday in Warri. They don't need to come here. When they talk, systems obey them. So there are two dimensions to height. The first dimension is a spiritual dimension, where number one, you have access to the realm of God. So you spend from God's resources. And number two, you can deal with devils and demons. That's why I said Jesus is seated far above principalities and powers. And in Ephesians 2:6, he said we are seated with him. But there are things we need to do to experience that reality. What are the requirements for ascension? What are the requirements for gaining height in the spirit? Because like you saw in this brother, most of you have many gifts, but you don't have height. You see that this brother had strength to lift that guy. But if they sit there for 100 years, he will never lift that young man. Because he doesn't have height. Not because he doesn't have ability. That's why you can see that some of you here can sing, but you are struggling. Some of you are smart, you are struggling. You are gifted, you are struggling. You have an ability that should impact your generation, but you don't have height. And so this conference will come to bring value to your abilities. This conference, can I shock you? Some of you sitting here, you know the Bible more than me. If you carry this microphone and start teaching, I will take notes, I won't stop. The problem is that I have more height. So the gift is there, the ability is there, but there is no height. And so if you have height, it will now bring value to your gift. It will now bring value to your abilities. It will now bring value to your potentials. This is why you must hear me. Because too many youths in Africa are gifted, but they are wasting because they don't have height. I met a brother recently, a dangerous inventor. Anything he touches, he can change it to anything. But he's in an environment that is depressed. He's in a valley. And so although he has gifts, but the environment wouldn't let him rise because of the environment. The environment is a low level. There's no height. If you meet this man, he will inspire you. As far back as 2011, he designed a car that can be powered with electricity. What Elon Musk did a few years ago that is making millions, this guy designed it in 2011. So if there was height to his talent, he should have been more wealthy than Elon Musk. As at 2011, Elon Musk is worth around $300 million. Today, Elon Musk is worth over $219 billion because of 3 projects that he has embarked upon from the place of advantage. So a man who is on top of the mountain can do little and the world will celebrate him. But the man who is below the valley will do 10 times more. Nobody will see it because he doesn't have height. This conference has come to give you the grace to ascend. It has come to add height to your life so that you will know that even what you have now is enough to change your world. But height is the challenge. What are the requirements for height? Number 1, the first thing that gives you power for ascension in the realm of God is purity. So a man who wants to gain ascension in the spirit, the first thing he needs to do is to rid himself of weight. As fast as Usain Bolt is, if Usain Bolt is carrying this AC, I will beat him in Olympics. It will no longer matter his capacity to run. He is carrying a weight. If I'm running with Usain Bolt and all of us are wearing tight, he will finish. I will still be close to the starting line. But if Usain Bolt makes the mistake of carrying this AC, no matter how fast he is, I will put my hand in the pocket and win him. The problem now is not his lack of speed. The problem is the weight he's carrying. Many people cannot ascend because they are carrying weights of immorality. They are carrying weights of lying. They are carrying weights of iniquity. So no matter what God does to them, in them and through them, they can never ascend because those weights will pull them down. That is why for anyone who wants to go high, ridding yourself of impurity must become your priority. See, you will take time and outline everything that makes it impossible for you to approach God. And you will pray consciously, Lord, remove this lying. Lord, remove this immorality. Lord, remove this pornography. Because if it is there, He will forgive you, but you cannot ascend. Every time you fornicate and you ask for forgiveness, He will forgive you, but you cannot ascend. Every time you live in sin, you ask for forgiveness, God will forgive you. It's His nature. But the problem is that you can never ascend. And so after many years, you will now discover you have missed too many seasons. And those seasons you have missed are supposed to be the staircases of your ascension. So every time you miss a season, you have missed a staircase. And you will look back later, after 30 years, you are on the same spot. Iniquity has robbed many people of ascension. They say, who shall ascend the mountains of the Lord? Who shall stand upon His holy hills? They say, him that is of a clean hands, him that is of a pure heart. So the first credential for ascension in the realm of God is purity. Why do you think many young men today lack the needed inspiration to move their life forward? And the way destiny works is that what can affect your 10 years can happen in a second. You just miss the moment. You sat with somebody, the right words to speak didn't come. It's after the person left you now remember what you should have said. What that person walking away, that's your 10 years going. Because what that person should have done, if you said the right thing, would have affected the next 10 years. But you see, you have spent of your mental power when you were giving yourself to iniquity. It says, flee youthful lust. It wages war against your soul. See, the devil is smart. He knows these things. Hope you know that he was a cherub. He operated in the courts of God. He knows how God works. And so when you look at the world today, almost 80% of every activity in the world today is designed to suggest sin and iniquity. The other day I carried my phone tab. I was writing on my notepad. For God's sake, notepad has nothing to do with internet. But because my data was on, suddenly I clicked notepad to write, and the young lady appeared on the screen opening her leg. I said, it was so embarrassing. What if somebody was passing? He would now say, look at Apostle. I was shocked and embarrassed at the same time. So they are forcing iniquity down your throat, because the devil knows that the eye is a gate, the ear is a gate. The moment you see it, the brain will go to work. And then some people sit there, they are processing pornography, processing immorality for 24 hours in every 48 hours. You think that kind of person can host a project that will affect worry? Do you know the mental energy that goes into a project that has a statewide scale? Do you know the mental power that goes into processing a project that have a national scale? I tell you, you will not have that ability. If I give you my schedule for the past 2 weeks, you'll be shocked. The reason I am fresh is because I have not allowed iniquity into my chamber. Because if he enters, it will kill me. I returned on the 1st. I flew to the United Kingdom for a conference. Landed on the 2nd, sort things out. From the 3rd, we had a meeting with volunteers. 4th and 5th, we had the meeting. The next day, I had to fly to Edinburgh, Scotland. I ministered that night. The next day, I flew back to London. Ministered. The next day, I flew to Aberdeen. Ministered. No, I flew to Glasgow. Ministered for 2 nights and flew to Aberdeen. Ministered the next day. As I finished that Sunday morning, I told my wife, gather your bags. We scheduled my flight. I'm going to Nigeria. And that night, I came back to London, flew to Abuja. On Tuesday, I arrived Monday. Tuesday was Bible study. I thought on Wednesday I had to go to Benue to defend my PhD of document, and I was reading because I've switched from one word to another. I left the spirit world into chemistry. Nobody will ask you John 3:16 there. When I go there, I'm talking nanochemistry, and so my brain had to switch, and immediately I was able in 24 hours to internalize 248-page textbook, because that was my PhD thesis research. And you also have to prove to them that you are adding value to humanity, because PhD is not undergraduate. You must add something to knowledge. And in 20 minutes, I was done talking. It didn't finish. They now say, sit down. And you are facing 7 professors, and they're asking you questions from everywhere in chemistry, and they expect you to answer. How can your brain function like that if you are thinking pornography? If you are thinking masturbation? How can you function? When I finish, they say, go, you can call yourself a doctor. You don't gain height until purity comes into your chamber, because it has something to do with your capacity.
Thank you for watching. If you have been blessed by this word of God, please kindly like, subscribe and share this video. God bless you.